Yeah.
I just had the 25 is.
I know the. Let's see, his earliest one is this one. Let's have it out.
That's the signs, being colder.
charged as a 133. Which no cross count 3. The difference includes the 131 and 133 is all. I don't. But you know, I mean, his problem is. The way that IEPT law, which almost nobody disagrees with, is being forward for purposes.
I understand, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and the statute by its terms, this 133 doesn't work with any other offenses, which is why everybody disagrees, but Court of Appeals, I think, is their reading of it is rather less literal than the legislature.
Yeah. I sent it to them, they were just, you know, kind of noted, so I was like, can you try to see if y'all can get it?
Okay. And you were right. I should have no adjusted flag. That was my bad.
I'm all ready. He was hard.
Okay, go ahead. That's what came up. So, we got everybody ready to go.
Yeah. Okay.
female inmates up.
We ain't got no inmates up, right? Hey, Lord, let White know that those folks we was looking for, they're not in trouble. They so open value, not easy release. Tony was in there, Randy Thompson, these are I looked at the camera. He just he had a ton of vision. That's all. Appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, I did. It says, yeah, I mean, see if you look for it.
I don't know if that's preside. And I preside that following week, so.
Man, city court come to order.
Okay. Yes. All right, so I understand Mr. Tucker's here. Oh, there you are. Hello, Mr. Tucker. Are y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Miss Reed. Miss Ingram.
I think she was sitting outside. I'll let her get her.
Okay. Who is this iPhone person?
That is,
Don't let the door swing, please. iPhone 631, is that your person?
it is, and we told them to put their first and last name on with the case name. That is Miss Carrie Gray's, the victim's mother's parents, the grandparents of the victim.
I think it is.
I stand corrected, Your Honor. She
Their pictures are on the screen. Who's that?
Yeah, that's
Okay. I'll change it. What is it? AY or EY?
Gray. Barbara Gray.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. This is indictment number 23SC187794-01, the state versus Sharice Michelle Ingram. Ms. Ingram is before the court on that indictment number and charged with various counts of violation of the Street Gang Terrorism Act, murder, felony murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, criminal damage to property in the first degree, criminal attempt to commit criminal damage to property in the first degree, criminal damage to property in the second degree, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer is how the indictment reads. Yes, Ms. Ingram is also before the court today for a motion to revoke bond. And as I understand it, Ms. Ingram has opted to enter into a plea. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. If both counsel, first and foremost, good morning, everybody. Good morning. If both counsel will please make appearances for the record.
Deputy District Attorney Asia Besa on behalf of the state. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matt Tucker here for Miss Ingram.
Okay. All right. Good morning, Ms. Ingram. Good morning. All right. So as I understand it, this is a non-negotiated plea. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so let me say this. The way non-negotiated pleas work in this courtroom is that I will hear from the state, Ms. Ingram, about the facts of the case as well as any record that you may have. I will hear from both parties as far as what their recommendations are as far as sentencing. On a non-negotiated plea, I will tell you what I'm inclined to sentence you to after hearing from both the state and your attorney, okay? At that point, you will have the opportunity to discuss it with your lawyer to decide if you want to enter into the plea or if you want to proceed to trial. It is your constitutional right to go to trial, all right? If you opt to go to trial, I will proceed with a motion to revoke your bond today. You understand? And you've had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Tucker about the motion that the state has filed to revoke your bond based on new arrest? Yes. All right. Okay. If you'll please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Make sure you keep your voice up for me, please. Okay. Ms. Besa from the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Ingram, are you at this time?
No. The microphone, if you'll point it towards you. And if you will tell me the factual basis as well as...
Appropriate this time. I think the state was only going to go forward with a few of those charges.
That's what I was about to say. The factual basis as well as what charges the state is proceeding on, if not all of them.
Yes, Your Honor. As to the factual basis, if this case were gone to trial, the evidence would have shown that Ms. Ingram and her co-defendant, who was DeQuasie Little, met each other on Instagram a few months prior to the actual incident. They were in the beginnings of a dating relationship. As to procedural history, with Your Honor, you may know already, DeQuasie Little pled guilty already to one gang charge and the rest of the indictment and was sentenced to life in prison. On January 23rd of 2022, Ms. Ingram's windows in her sedan were busted open. It was parked at 224 Anderson Avenue. The next day, January 24th of 2022, Ms. Ingram and her mother filed a police report to report that her windows were broken. Her co-defendant Little went to a neighbor's house across the street, got doorbell video, and determined that his ex-girlfriend is the one who busted Ms. Ingram's windows. The defendant Little had Ms. Ingram drive to his ex-girlfriend's home. Defendant Little then busted out his ex-girlfriend's windows. This is all on January 24th of 2022. Later that day at 2:35 p.m., defendant Little and ex-girlfriend are going back and forth on Instagram video call, and ex-girlfriend says, "I'm at your house." Defendant Little tells defendant Ingram to drive to 224 Anderson Avenue here in Fulton County. They see ex-girlfriend's sedan, their car, and defendant Little tells Ingram to follow the car. That is when a high-speed chase down Anderson Avenue, progressive DeQuasie Little is shooting out of the passenger side of Ms. Ingram's Jeep. He shoots, at least 26 shell casings were recovered. So he's shooting at the sedan, his ex-girlfriend's car. Sedan is shooting at Ms. Ingram and DeQuasie Little. In the midst of the fire, as DeQuasie Little is shooting at his ex-girlfriend's car, Baby Grayson is driving with his mother, Miss Carrie Gray, who is sitting here in court today. He's driving in the back seat of his mother's car, in a car seat, facing backwards. So as defendant Little is shooting, one of the bullets hits Baby Grayson and he passes away. Subsequent to this incident, Miss Ingram and DeQuasie Little drive away. DeQuasie Little tells Miss Ingram to then shoot another firearm in another location, I guess to distract the police of where the crime scene is. She does that. She turns herself in with her attorney, makes a statement to the police with Detective Sluss in the presence of her attorney. It's not Mirandized because her attorney is there the whole time. And DeQuasie Little, even though he pled, he's arrested at a traffic stop. Those are the facts of the case.
All right. And what is the state's position as for sentencing?
The state would be recommending a sentence of 20 years for Ms. Ingram. As far as the indictment, we're no prossing counts 1 through 13. We'll be moving, Your Honor, to no pross counts 1 through 13, and further count 28, which is possession by a first offender probationer. Ms. Ingram does not have any felony convictions.
Okay.
And in addition, as to count 14, where as part of the negotiation, we are reducing to murder in the second degree, which is 16-5-1, subsection D. And Your Honor is familiar with that, I'm sure, but in the commission of cruelty in the second degree, a child is. So that is why we're getting to the number of 20 years.
All right. And what's the minimum and maximum for murder in the second degree so that Ms. Ingram is made aware on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. The minimum is 10, maximum is 30, and that is under 1651E2. Minimum 10, maximum 30.
Okay. And you said that the state is recommending 20 years to serve?
20 years to serve, Your Honor.
No probation?
No probation, Your Honor. However, if, in regards to sentencing, if Your Honor were to sentence less than that, then we would ask for probation on the back end
Yes,
to
ma'am.
reach 20.
And so as I have it, well, let me make sure I understand. So are you saying that the state is no crossing counts 1 through 13 and 28, and then Ms. Ingram would plead to counts 14, which has been reduced to murder in the second degree, through 27?
Yes, Your Honor. Some of those remaining counts vacate by operation of law and merge, and I can get into that as well.
Okay.
But yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Tucker.
That was my understanding, Your Honor, and I just want to add a few more facts in there and clarify one or two. That Miss Ingram was finding this guy on Instagram. They were talking a lot, and I believe it was the first night that she stayed over at his house that someone had busted her window, and she came out and she told her mom, and they both called the police, thinking that was the end of it. And it appears that it was not her that was driving a car to her baby's mama's, or to Little's baby's mama's house. It was him who drove it. They thought they were going to some seafood place. But upon that, it did escalate, and there was a lot of conversation back and forth with Little and his baby's mom. She was never involved in that. She only said that she heard a couple of times him complaining about it. And then when they were out driving the next time, that he sat there and she, that's them, get up there so I can see him. And she moved closer, and then the car shot back. He pulled a gun out, hanging out her window, shouting at her to drive, and shooting the gun, putting her in a state that she said she'd never been in. She'd never been in an environment like that. She'd never been in a situation where somebody's got a gun shooting and screaming at her to go. And I'm not sure if the video has been shown to the court or not. There was a sizable amount of, space between the two cars because she didn't really want to get too close to get hit, but he kept screaming, go faster. And you do see the cars going at high speed. She felt terrible about the situation when it ended. She pulled off and got away. She had to drop a little off at some apartment complex, which she did. She went home. She was telling her parents, she said, you've got to go tell what happened. Upon seeing the news and hearing that a life had been taken from that, a small child, she called me immediately and said, I've got to go tell them exactly what happened. I can't live with this going on, knowing that something, I was helping the guy drive and this occurred. So we went to the Atlanta PD and we told them everything that she knew that was going on. There were some pieces because of Instagram going back and forth, the argument. She didn't really know that. She only knew what he was telling her. But she did come in there and she told him everything to be taken into custody right then and there. As the case proceeded on and Mr. Little was caught and incarcerated, he was sending threats to her, and at one point I believe he on the jail phone, he reached out to a couple of his members of his gang and placed a hit on Miss Ingram and said, she's running her mouth, we got to stop this. She found out about this and she was concerned, but when asked by the DA's office to come back in and clarify some issues, knowing that she had this hit on her, she still did, because as she said to me, right is right, wrong is wrong. So we did come in numerous times to speak with the DA after the hit was placed on her, and she knew that this possibly could affect her and her family, but she wanted to do the right thing. She wanted to tell everything about it because this was not right in her eyes and how she felt. She said, this is not right, I must tell everybody what really happened. And from there, we've been talking with the DA and finding, what was going on with Mr. Little, what was going on with the other people. And she even explained who the people were in the front car that was shooting back at them. She gave names, addresses, everything. Everything that she knew, she came and gave, not only to the DA's office, but the Atlanta Police Department after this occurred. And she has basically had some unfortunate situations come to her. She had a baby, which was a blessing. But a baby, and he's 4 months old.
He's one now.
Now he's one. And she had the baby's daddy drive her. And that incident in Fayette County is what happened with the baby's daddy. And he finally came up and confessed after a lengthy period of time that she had no knowledge of it. And she basically was there in the car with her baby. And when the police asked somebody to get out of the car, she was reaching for a purse, saw a hand sticking out of it. She kind of backed up a little bit, which the police saw. And then they said, all right, step back with me. And the man reached in her baby's mom, reached in there, grabbed the gun and the purse, ran over 4 lanes of traffic to throw away the gun, but then came back with her purse so she could have her purse. I believe that they're going to take in consideration that and handle that case later on, but we're here for this case. I just wanted you to understand the grounds before the motion, if the motion is continued with. And she comes here today to say that she knows that she has explained sometimes that she's like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? I thought I rectified it by coming and telling the court everything I knew, because she never anticipated, never thought this would occur. She's never been in an environment where this stuff kind of happened around her. And as she said, he was screaming at her and telling her to go. In one sense, she was trying to hang back so her car wouldn't be shot. But in another sense, she was afraid of what might happen to her, not knowing him for 3 months. So she comes here today to be accountable for her actions and prays upon this court to take all of that in consideration of what has happened. And initially when we were talking with the DA's office and agent, they were saying, well, what are you thinking about? And of course, I was thinking about, a lot of consideration for what she'd done, and we're looking in the 5-year range. However, when she came up with the decision of murder 2, we knew our hands were tied, and it would have to be 10 years. And we were looking for something for first offender, because she has 2 young children she has to take care of, and understanding that she hopefully will get through everything that's happened here and start her life over again. She didn't want something that would hinder her from getting a job and taking care and being the provider she could be for her children. Now I understand that murder 2 is not eligible, and that's my humble opinion that is correct. And it's not eligible for a first offender, so that's going to hinder her in life. However, she understands it, and to not have to revisit this situation again, her heart goes out to the victim's mother. I think we've expressed that to him a couple of times. And that she stands here accountable and prays upon the court to take all of that in consideration and look at it in her perspective of, she kind of was in a situation she really didn't know how to handle. And every time she would try to back off because she didn't want to be shot or didn't want anything to happen, he was yelling in her ear, shooting that AK right there. And I think it was 28 shots that eventually were let off, as well as shots coming upon them, that she did what she was told to do, hoping it would end over quickly. And then when she left, she knew nothing about anybody being hit. It was only on the news that she did finally hear about this, and she immediately came to the APD to tell them everything she knew about this, to try to assist them to make justice be had. And we would just respectfully request the court to understand that's what happened in that situation. And she's relatively young with 2 children that she has to take care of. She does have a support group, and her mom is present. And that's, everybody else from her family is either living out of state, but she does have a support group that has been by her side this whole time and has been helping out with the children. But having 2 young children, being in her golden years, it's difficult for her to handle that. With that being said, I would respectfully request this court to take all that in consideration. And she does have some time that I believe the state was going to grant to be used towards discharge and these sentencing that we used. And if the court would use the 10-year minimum with all the other charges, I believe they're going to ask for it to be run concurrent. The 10-year minimum, giving her credit for the time she's already been in jail, that would I think would accommodate and show to Ms. Ingram that you need to pick your people a little bit better. You need to understand that there's always an option. It may not be the best option. It may not be the one you think of right then and there, but there's always an option to avoid getting put in a situation like that. And then we would respectfully request that the remaining charges, as she puts up there, be run concurrent, so that she would, when she finishes, I believe murder 2 is parolable, but it's one of those high levels that's going to make a sizable amount of that time of service in jail. But we would respectfully ask the court to take that in consideration and be more towards that type of sentence instead of just a straight 20 years to serve and kind of hinder her from being able to be part of her family's life and take care of her children. And she's going to have an uphill battle no matter what. From now on, she's got to basically find a job that's not going to overlook this type of charge on her. And she's going to have to be a special person to be out there and show capabilities and who she is. And as I explained to her, that she basically defined herself, how she makes it through this adversity and makes it through this situation in jail time and be able to come out stronger. Instead of being bitter, she needs to be better. And she has put her faith in God and put her faith in the court system to look at it through her position and hopefully come to a lesser sentence than the state is recommending.
Okay. And I do see that the victim's father is on the Zoom. Looks like
Yes, Your
Grandma
Honor.
may have fallen off. And then I do see the victim's mother is present in court. And so I will give the opportunity to make a victim impact statement if the plea goes forward. Having considered everything that I've heard, and I will also note that I was the judge who took the previous plea, so I also recall the previous impact statements that were given. Having considered all of the argument of counsel on both sides, I do believe that the 20 years to serve is more than appropriate. And certainly the state's option to reduce the murder charge to voluntary manslaughter is already a reduction in and of itself, because murder carries,
It's reducing to murder 2.
to murder 2. My apologies. Murder carries a penalty of life in prison, and you would not even be eligible for parole if you were paroled until you serve 30 years of that. So I do believe that the 20 years is appropriate based on the facts and circumstances, and so that would be the sentence of the court if Ms. Ingram would want to go forward with a plea. I think the state is being more than generous.
If I can have one more.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And just for the record, Ms. Ingram spent 206 days in the Fulton County Jail from January 26th until August 19th of 2022, and so she would get credit for that time. I am not aware of any other time, and so to the extent that there's any other time that Ms. Ingram spent in jail, then you all would just have to let me know that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So do you need to step back or?
If you can.
Yes. And then Ms. Besa, it looks like 22 SC 18221 and 23 SC 187794 need to be null pros.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Tucker, you can take her outside and talk to her if you like.
All right, thanks.
And Mr. Aurora, well, hold on one second. Is Mr. Aurora's number? Okay. All right, Mr. Aurora, your client's up. All right, so we will stand in recess momentarily. Do you need to speak with them?
No, we're good.
Okay. Does anybody else need to speak with their client? The females are not up. Only the guys are up. All right. May I have Mr. Wright, please? Ernest Wright. For who now? The guy in the DLC? But I thought they were going to talk to see if they Did you tell me to me? Do they know that? Do they know that?
If you won't do that, then you'll have to meet.
All right, before the court is Mr. Ernest Wright. Mr. Wright is before the court on a probation revocation, a violation of probation that was reset from September the 5th, 2025 to see if Mr. Wright could be accepted into an inpatient program. And that is on indictment number 15SC136795. Good morning, everybody. If counsel will please make appearances for the record.
Manny Aurora for Mr. Wright, who is present.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good to see you again. How are you feeling?
I'm good. How you doing, y'all?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for asking. All right. So I understand that you all have gotten Mr. Wright into a program. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. It's the Freedom March program. We provided all the documents to the prosecution a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and so I think it's acceptable. I'm sure Mr. White will lay out some special additional terms. It's going to be a 1-year inpatient program. Based on the fact that it's the one affordable program that we could find that we could actually pay for. They don't pick up at the jail, so I'd ask probation, who was okay, and Mr. White was okay, if he could have 24 hours after release or 12 hours after release to turn himself in to get his bed space.
The jail can't directly transport Mr. Wright?
I have not been told that they would.
Judge, typically to this program, and I have actually been in contact with the program, they don't really have, they're not really set up to receive inmates directly from incarceration facilities to their program. In deference to...
So are you saying that the jail cannot transport it?
Well, the jail could, but it's just the program isn't set up normally to do that.
What does that mean?
Programs where there's direct transport usually have a means where they're...
No. That's not, I know that part. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, you said the program is not set up to receive Mr. Wright directly from Fulton County, dropping him off. So I'm asking, what does that mean? Because...
Well, what that means is that the programs that are used to dealing with inmates will actually have protocols set up to deal with the inmates. This program doesn't deal with inmates typically, so there's no protocol set up. They just asked, could he come in off the street? They didn't use that term, but that's the term that we're used to. Deference to the program. I don't really have an objection to that, especially as Mr. Aurora and I have essentially negotiated that Mr. Aurora will pick his client up from the jail and transport him directly to the program.
Oh, that's not what Mr. Aurora said.
That's what he said to me.
Yeah, it's fine. He could either take it, his family's here, could take him, or I'll take him if that's what makes
I was going to
sense.
say that Mr. Aurora did not say he was going to the
We
jail
did-
to pick Mr. Wright up.
We did talk about that, but his family's here. I'd also asked if we could have 24 hours. I didn't know how you felt about that. Otherwise, once he's released, I can take him myself if that's gives you more comfort. But he's got too much to risk at this point with the probation. So, and like I said, his child's mother and other family members, his son, they're all here today.
Tell me about this program, please. I'm not familiar.
I
I know you said
but-
you gave the information to the state, but they didn't give it to me. So everybody's telling me now.
I think, frankly, it's just like any other drug program as far as that goes. It just doesn't.
Shh. Y'all are loud. Y'all are whispering like my grandma.
They have a good inpatient facility. I think Mr. White has talked to them. He'll go through the program after he gets evaluated with them as to what all he needs specifically. They understand there's a drug problem. Bed space is somewhat limited, so we were able to secure a bed on September 15th, and so that's why I called your office to get this scheduled so we don't end up losing out on the space. We've got it currently, and he should be in there for the year, as the government has asked, to get himself cleaned out and get the resources that he needs. And then he understands he goes back on probation for a handful of years after that.
So talk to me about like what the program does. Are folks allowed to come and go? Is there a work component? treatment? Is there, that's what I mean. I'm not familiar with this program, so that's why I asked those
It's got those
questions.
issues, but I can't tell you that until he gets evaluated to see how bad his position is. Otherwise, they do want you to be a useful member of the society.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like you do that right out of the gate. So it'll probably be a couple of months, depending on where he is in their evaluation, to do all that. So
Okay.
it's like a pretty decent high-end program, except they just don't gouge you. So it's affordable for somewhat regular people. Instead
Oh,
of the
this
10
is a paid program?
Yes, Your Honor, we have to pay for it.
Is Mr. Wright allowed to leave if he just decides next week, I don't want to do the program? Would they allow him to just walk out the door?
We've talked to them. He's not allowed to do that, but I don't know if he made a run for it, if they could stop him necessarily. But he's going to have a pretty big probation warrant issue pending against him, so I don't think he's going to be doing that. But it's not a lockdown type facility, so yes, you can leave, but they're not supposed to.
From Arch Co-ed Recovery Center?
It's on Howell Mill, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Moore's Mill. The probation has the address to it. So you've asked a lot of good questions. I just can't answer them until they tell me that he's qualified for X, Y, or Z.
So has Mr. Wright been accepted to the program, or this is just a program that you all want to?
He was accepted, and I've got in writing on September 15th, and so we were trying to expedite. So
So you're saying they just need to do the evaluation to see what type of treatment Mr.
right,
Wright
he's been
got.
accepted in. You said, can he work and stuff? I mean, if he was just a marijuana user, probably, but this is way more serious than that, so I don't know. It'll probably be a couple of months before.
Judge Freedom Arch, and you may be familiar with Victory Church and Foundation Forward Christian Academy. This is actually a component of Victory Church. In addition to, well, there is no lockdown. However, it is a stepped program. It's sort of a traditional stepped program in that as participants complete phases, and they are given more responsibility and also more discretion. However, what we've negotiated is that this defendant will live in a Freedom Arch / Foundation Forward facility, or they actually have what amount to group homes or supervised living facilities for a period of minimum of a year. The state is requesting that in addition to successful completion of the 1 year long inpatient component, that this defendant can be subject to a minimum of, was it 3, Mr. Aurora? 3 12-step program, or 3 12-step meetings a week for a minimum of 104 weeks after he completes the inpatient portion of this. So that
You're talking about aftercare.
aftercare.
Okay.
And so, in addition to whatever aftercare there is, specifically, it will be the 12-step program, participation in a 12-step program. And as your Honor is aware, there's a lot more than just Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous available now. But that style of program will be what this defendant is required to participate in a minimum of 3 days a week or 104 weeks after the inpatient portion of this program as special conditions of his probation.
Leslie. So it looks like for the first 30 days, Mr. Wright will be subject to a 10 p.m. curfew, the buddy system for the first 2 weeks, no therapeutic leave, and all locations when he does leave the facility must be shared with the staff, and 4 screenings per week. Anytime he leaves or comes to the facility, he's subject to a random drug and or alcohol screen, as well as while there. He has to participate in 5 recovery fellowship meetings per week, gain a sponsor, have no violations of the buddy system, adhere to the treatment provider's treatment plan as applicable, no outstanding behavior issues, participate in recovery coaching and follow the guidelines, develop a recovery plan and goals with the recovery coach, as well as maintain chore compliance. That's phase 1 in the first 30 days. Phase 2, which is month 2, 10:30 p.m. curfew Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. curfew on Wednesdays, Friday, and Saturday. Eligible for 1 therapeutic leave pass, 3 UAs per week, and locations must be shared. Also, no disciplinary marks in 30 days, 4 recovery fellowship sessions per week, gain employment or education, actively work a recovery-oriented program, join a home group, participate in recovery coaching, and satisfy 5 of the recovery plan goals. And then the program progresses with phase 3 being phase 3 being month 3, phase 4 being month 4, which includes a 12 p.m. curfew. And then phase 5 is transitional. Phase 4 is 4 months plus. And then phase 5 is transitional, no curfew, eligible for 3 therapeutic passes per month, random UAs. There's a no fraternization policy. I guess because it's a co-ed. Oh, they use MAT. Okay. Tell me what substance we're talking about as far as addiction with Mr. Wright.
We've had marijuana, meth, heroin. It's been a smorgasbord over the years.
All right. Okay. I'm going to print this packet out for you, Mr. Aurora, to give to Mr. Wright so that he can begin to, it's an 18-page packet and they have lots of do's and don'ts in there so that Mr. Wright, I don't know when you'll be released, Mr. Wright. That's not up to me. That's up to the Fulton County Sheriff's Department, okay? So that when Mr. Wright is released, he'll have a good understanding before he gets there as to what will be expected of him, what will be required of him in participating in this program, all right? So Mr. Wright, as I don't know if you remember the last time he was here as well as what he said today, but certainly what I've heard is that over the course of the last however many years, you've made a go at this several times, okay? I was actually at a conference last week on drug abuse and substance abuse, rather, in America. It was very 4-day intensive conference where literally I was in class from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every single day, learning all about drugs and alcohol and how it impacts the brain and all of that other good stuff. And one of the things that the presenter said, and I'm sharing this with you for a reason, was that the average person, it takes them 8 times at trying for recovery before they actually get it. And until they make the active decision to get it, they're never going to get it, right? One of the things or the examples they gave, they said, think of your brain as a cucumber. Well, the drug addicted brain is a pickle. You can never turn a pickle back into a cucumber. But what you can do is reshape and reform the brain such that it is not actively seeking the cravings of the drugs, the alcohol, whatever it may be. Because one of the things they talked about is part of the reason that recovery is so difficult is not just a, I don't want to do it, is that your brain is so used to operating with drugs that the brain is now going through withdrawal and it's adjusted itself to literally feel like it needs the drugs and alcohol or whatever it is to survive. And so you as the individual, when your brain is having those cravings and those kindlings and all that other kind of stuff, you as the individual have to be disciplined enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to give into that. And it's difficult, right? Because nobody thinks about their brain doing that, right? It's kind of like when we eat, right? We eat because you may not even be hungry, but you're just eating to eat, right? And so that's one of the analysis that they made to say, when you think about it, when you're emotionally eating, you're not hungry. You're just eating because it's out of comfort, it's out of this, it's out of that. And so you have to actively say to yourself and fight the fight of, I'm not going to eat because I know I'm not hungry, but I just want to eat, right? And so it's an oversimplified example. But I say that to you to say this, it's not going to be easy. And you are going to have to make the active decision to disregard what your drug addicted brain is saying and retrain your brain such that your brain doesn't even want, let alone need the drugs to survive, right? And part of the recovery process is you get to having these cravings and whatnot. And so literally your brain goes that way, right? Life happens. And so your brain goes that way, right? And so one of the things they said that was that it is really counterproductive to have somebody go to treatment if you're not treating the underlying issue of why they're using, right? And giving them life skills and coping skills so that when life happens, because we know it's going to happen, they don't turn to drugs, they turn to those coping skills. They don't turn to alcohol, they turn to those coping skills, okay? So I share that with you for this reason, right? I know last time we talked about how you've gone through multiple times, right? But I share that with you because I don't want you to see the past as a failure. I want you to see this as an opportunity for this to be your 8th time and to get it right, for lack of a better term, okay? So certainly I am going to grant you going to the program because I believe in you. Mr. Aurora believes in you. I mean, he's, gone to bat and found a program and did all that other stuff and brought you in to make sure that you get the bed and everything that you need sooner rather than later so that you can start that process of recovery, right? And this is the last thing I'm going to share with you. And I thought this was so impactful when they said it. They said there's a difference between abstinence and sobriety. Abstinence is just not using the drugs, right? For whatever reason, whether it's because you had a court case pending, you just, because everybody says, I can stop whenever I want to, right? But then they go back to using the drugs. So that's the abstinence piece. And what's missing from the abstinence piece is the discipline to say, you know what? I don't just want to be abstinent. I want to be sober. And sobriety is a lifestyle. So part of that lifestyle also means changing your circumstances and your behavior and changing your circumstances. Because one of the things they said was you cannot stop using the drugs, but still engage in the lifestyle.
Right.
Which is part of the reason why there's a difference, again, between abstinence, not using the drugs, but still being a part of the lifestyle, still associating with those same folks who you were associating with before, those same areas, whatever the case may be, and sobriety, which says I have to make lifestyle changes so that I cannot go back to doing what I've been doing, and that's gotten me here thus far. So, sir, I want to encourage you, and certainly it's not going to be easy, but you have a tribe back there. You have Mr. Aurora, and certainly you have the court cheering you on, so you got to cheer yourself on, all right?
Thanks.
So, yes, sir, absolutely. So, as I understand it, Mr. Aurora, Mr. Wright is stipulating to the violation. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I am going to accept the stipulation. I am going to revoke 1 year as a special condition of probation. Mr. Wright must enter and complete the Freedom Arch program. Did it print? Okay. It's normally so loud that okay. All right, and that program is actually not a 1 year program. So essentially it's based on your progression from what I read in that packet. And that's an 18-page packet directly from their website that talks about the program, how the program works, et cetera, okay? And so that way you have the opportunity to kind of see what and how the program works and what will be expected of you, because there are, of course, certain markers that you can work towards, all right? In addition to that, the last time Mr. Wright was here, which was September the 5th, as of then, he had 5 years, 10 months, and 30 days remaining. Is that still correct, Madam Probation Officer? And then, Mr. White, do we have a status of the pending case?
Judge, we do not.
Okay.
Actually, both Mr. Aurora and I were in contact with intake division this morning, and
It's unindicted for now, but we've contacted them to say we need to work it out because what's the point of this? And so Mr.
Correct.
White and I will
Okay.
deal with Mr. Hutcherson and figure that out.
Okay.
it's unindicted, will be addressed in due course. That's
Okay.
exactly what I.
All right, and then you are to comply, Mr. Wright, with any aftercare. Now, let me also share this with you. What they said was that aftercare is critically important because on the sobriety journey, the average person doesn't reach a place of sobriety until 3 to 5 years after treatment, right? 3 to 5 years after treatment. And so part of what you do, and because right now, you know, it's just a detox phase, right? So I had somebody come in here a couple weeks ago and say, Judge, I'm clean. I'm like, you've been in Rice Street. Like, and I understand, I get it, right? But that's not the true test. The true test is when you get out and you have all the freedom in the world to do everything in the world that you want to do, right? And so I say that to you to say it is a journey. It being sobriety and recovery is a journey. It is not an event. So stay the course for the journey and know that you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, but that's part of the reason why aftercare is so important. That's also part of the reason why ensuring that you have a village of support and not a village of enablers. So if you know you have that friend who likes to be outside, turn up, etc., then that may not be the friend that we need to hang around, right? Okay? All right. All right, anything further?
Judge, the state would request that both successful completion of the program be a special condition of probation, and that in addition to any aftercare, that a minimum of 3 12-step meetings a week for a period of 104 weeks be added.
So I'm not going to add that part because the program is going to decide what aftercare is pursuant to their website, and I don't want to I don't want to put too many conditions on because I don't know what aftercare is going to be. But part of aftercare is to participate in some kind of support group, okay? I'm not going to say 3 times a week because you may not need 3 times a week. You may only need 1, you may only need 2, but that's part of why I'm going to leave that to the professionals to decide what kind of aftercare you need, but it will include, or it shall include rather, some kind of program, a support program. I don't care if it's with the church. I don't care if it's with Salvation Army. I don't care if it's Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, or whatever, but you do have to participate.
I was still going to meetings when this
Excellent.
occurred, so I've still been going to.
Mr. Roy's like, don't say that. That don't help us. It's okay. But, one of the things they said, sober people hang with sober people, right? So again, you got to change. You can't change the life. You can't not change the lifestyle and break the addiction. All right. All right. So good luck to you, sir. And is there anything else from probation? Yes.
Ernest, right? Yes.
Correct.
And also, as a special condition, this program and follow on.
Correct. And to participate in Narcotics Anonymous or some type of trauma or support group as part of the aftercare.
And the only question I had, you said revoke 1 year. Is it 1 year commuted to the time served upon
Yes.
completion?
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want the jail to hold him for another 7
Oh, no
months.
worries. She's going to do the order right now and hand it to me, or today and hand it to me. And it looks like Mr. Wright has been in custody for 56 days. So actually, I cannot do that. Let me stop. I'm revoking 5 months and 5 months. I'm revoking 5 months. Let me rephrase that. If I revoke a year, he automatically goes into the DOC system.
Okay.
Revoke 5 months. Yes. Yes, ma'am. credit for time served, commuted to time served. Okay.
Lastly, Your Honor, can his family take him, or would you like me to take him?
I can also put in, he has, so please answer and successfully completed 24 hours after his
Okay.
because again, I don't know if he has to be told.
Okay.
Also, upon his release, he has 24 hours.
For the court, there is a traffic ticket issue that I need to deal with in municipal court. So if there's a problem, I will notify you all if they're holding
Okay.
in for the
No
traffic
need to
ticket.
notify the order in the state 24 hours
Afterward.
his release. So whatever he has to take care of, however long that takes, that's fine.
Okay.
24 hours after his release, he is.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Who's here for Mr. Wright as for his family? Stand up for me.
Child's mother, son, and a family friend.
Awesome. You see those folks back there, Mr. Wright? They're counting on you. So they're here to support you because one of the other things they said is that one of the most important pieces in someone's recovery process is feeling like folks got their back. So it looks like you have a 360 circle around you because even the deputy got your back too because he don't want to see you back in Wright Street. You more paperwork for him. Yeah, see? So the deputy has your back, I have your back, Mr. Aurora has your back, and they have your back. You see that 360?
Yep.
So you got a 360 circle of folks having your back, but you got to do your part, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You good?
They told him that? Oh, you told him? See, you got another one over here. All right, Mr. Tucker. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Aurora. Oh, Mr. Aurora, I didn't answer your question. I don't care who takes him as long as he gets there. In the words of Alita Adams, get there how you can. Yes, sir. Can you hand this to Jolie, right? Jolly. My apologies, Miss Jolly.
Will be assigned to
Welcome.
Sips in here provide me your lovely,
My particulars.
yes, to the recommendation. Grace. And coming from judgment.
Okay. Welcome, as they say in the old church. You're welcome once, you're welcome twice, you're welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. All right. So we are back on the record in Miss Ingram's case. So, Mr. Tucker, what has your client decided to do?
Your Honor, with a remorseful heart, my client will accept the punishment that is issued today based on the fact that occurred. She wanted to have me bring up a couple of things that me and the state were talking about as we walked out. That the situation here is when I walked outside with the sergeant, the family.
Turn the microphone towards you. There you go.
So
I see people with their ear to the Zoom. So
the family was asking outside certain questions, and as I explained to them that
when you say the family, you mean Miss Ingram's family?
Miss Ingram's family, and I explained to them that situations happen, and that we have to deal with them when they happen, and there's always a repercussion for an action.
Any questions that I can answer?
I think that basically she's come forth and she's talked with the family, and they were asking, specifically, why if she was, with this person and she did.
Oh, I can't answer that one.
I told her, I said, God can answer that for her, but
Okay.
they can't. But she stands here accountable and she understands the magnitude. And as the family was out there asking, well, don't they take in accountability? I said, they take in accountability that there was a loss of life.
And I actually took into accountability everything that was said to me, including what you said as far as how Ms. Ingram turned herself in and certainly was helpful to the state. And again, I think part of what the family, Ms. Besa, had Ms. Ingram gone to trial, what was the maximum that she was looking at if she was unsuccessful?
Oh, wow. Life without the possibility of parole, plus, and I can get the plus for you, Your Honor, but it will be over, actually I can get it right now.
That's
20,
devastating.
30,
Yeah.
It's
40,
260 plus.
40, 50, 55. We're not going, it'll be life without the possibility of parole plus at least 55 years. And that's not including counts 1 through 13.
Well, that's the 260.
Okay,
That
260,
was
then
what?
yes, it'll be 260 years, yes, Your Honor.
Plus the 55. So
And that's
for
understandable.
the benefit of the family, and that's why I said that, and certainly for the benefit of Miss Ingram, had Miss Ingram gone to trial, she was looking at life without the possibility of parole plus 200, approximately 50 years in custody.
And she understands the magnitude of that, and she understands the magnitude of what occurred and who she was hanging with and who, you know, as she's taking accountability, that's not trying to point a finger at anybody. She understands that she was put into a situation that she put herself in. And she's not trying to blame anybody, and she wanted me to turn to the family and apologize for all that has occurred. This was not something that was intended. This was not something she ever thought. She'd ever been in a situation like this. And as the family was outside asking certain questions, as I explained to them, that the law has repercussions for actions, whether you
Party to a crime.
is whether you were the main participant or the other one or the person that assisted, that the law and the judge has a duty, and they swear into that duty that they are going to protect and have justice served. And as she's standing here today and she's going to accept whatever punishment comes to her, she did want to apologize to the family that she never intended any of this, and that the person that she was with, she didn't know him as well as she thought, which is another learning lesson. And throughout this whole procedure, that she has come to a conclusion that her family is the most important thing. So she really mourns and wants to give sympathy and apology to the family of the child. And she never expected this to happen. She only did what she said in a situation she'd never been part of before. And at this time, she would respectfully request the court to accept her guilty plea and take into consideration all the factors that happened here, because she immediately came to the police to tell them what happened when she heard there was a loss of a child, because she has 2 young children herself. And she felt that was necessary. And throughout this whole process, she has maintained that she wanted justice. She wanted this story. She wanted this all to be heard, because sometimes there's ambiguity and the family may have these questions of what if or wonder. And she says that she prays to God that the family finds their own sanity and accepts that this was nothing that was planned. It was not intended. It just is something that happened. And she wishes the best to the mother and the family of the deceased, just as she wishes the best to her family, who have supported her through this whole procedure.
Okay.
And she understands there's repercussions for actions, and you've heard this also, be careful who you hang with because something may come up. She understands that, and she really just respectfully requests the court to understand her circumstances and what happened, her ability to be able to come forth immediately to tell what was going on and who participated. She doesn't know the reason why. It was something trivial as busting out windows, and she didn't understand why somebody would do something like that. But I think as the case progressed and we found more about Mr. Little, that she understood now that she was with the wrong party in the wrong crowd. And she just apologizes to the court as well as her family on what has occurred, and only prays upon this court to understand her circumstances and the circumstances of working with Miss Beja. We've come many a times to speak with them to try to fill any gaps we could, fully understanding that there's going to be repercussions for her actions. And she still came. And then hearing the hit put on her and knowing the fear that had happened to her family, she still would come to speak and let them know exactly what was going on. And it's painful for the family who is here today to see this, but they understand that the court has a job, and their decision is to take fairness and justice with the loss of a life and the incident that occurred. And we only pray to the court that they accept her plea and show any consideration they can within it, because she came, I think it was like the next day or the day after, once she contacted me, my first availability, we went to explain,
Understood.
tell everything to them, and she has done that throughout this whole process, even though knowing that there were hits put on, even though knowing there was a harsh repercussion, that she was going to be accountable for her actions. And we respectfully request the court to accept her plea and to show any leniency they can based on her coming forth and being honest with the court and with the prosecutor throughout this whole process.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. Besa, any victim impact statement before we go through the colloquy?
Yes, Your Honor. We do have a victim impact statement from baby Grayson's mother, Miss Carrie Gray, and I believe also his father, Mr. M. Deshaun Hayes, as well.
All right. Let me start with Mr. Hayes since he's on Zoom, okay? Mr. Hayes, if you will please come off of Zoom.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. If you will
Good
please
morning.
state your name for me, okay?
Yes. My name is Marlo Deshaun Hayes. I am Grayson's father.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Well, you heard my previous impact statement. Not much has changed. It saddens me that there are so many lives impacted by this young lady's decision. Mine, his mother's, her family, her children. We can't undo those things. The only thing we can do going forward is prevent. A bad decision happened, an event, and I hear the counselor speaking about damage control, what happened after the fact, but nobody is addressing what happened before the fact. Please, Judge, I beg you to punish her. For what she's done. Protect the community from her. And the deed of the minds of anybody who commit similar actions as her. To let her know that this is unacceptable on so many levels. I'm sorry, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes.
No, you can have her come right here for me, please. That's fine. Yes, ma'am. And make sure you state your name for me first, okay? Oh, I think that well, they were supposed to fix that microphone, but maybe it's not.
Hi, my name is Carrie Fleming.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Fleming, whenever you're ready.
I have sat up every night for 3 years, 8 months, and 5 days, wondering if this is real or if I've gone so far into a psychotic break that somewhere Grayson is fine, we're a family, and this is all in my head. But I look at the bag, the one which holds my bloodstained sweater and shoes, or the chain around my neck that pulls a little hair, and I realize that necklace has his ashes. Or finally, the bin, the one that holds everything I have left of my one and only child, that still holds the bib that has the remains of food on it from the first salad meal, or his Tigger he slept with every night. And I cry. I cry every morning when I realize he's not fine. We are no longer a family, and this is not in my head. This is not the life I chose for my son, for me, for his father, or for his family. But let me tell you about some actual choices made that day. A choice was made to accept a phone call. A choice was made to purchase a firearm with appropriate bullets, knowing they were going to end someone's life that day. A choice was made to drive to a location, and a choice was made to drive at law-breaking speeds with zero regard that anyone could have been on those roads, walking, riding a bike, or like my son and I, driving in a car. As we can see on the video footage, these choices led to the direct targeting of the back of my vehicle, where my trunk was pierced, along with my son's left eye and the right side of his skull. These choices were not forced upon anyone. They were consciously made. And in making those choices, I was left unable to choose how my son was going to be raised. Those choices took away my ability to ever hear my son tell me he loves me, or whether he is proud of the mother I was, still am, and will always be to him. I have watched this court show leniency throughout this case, and watching my son become part of patterned behavior for the defendant who, while awaiting trial for Grayson's murder, couldn't respect the law enough to follow her rules and stay out of trouble. This court has also failed to keep in mind that for my family and myself, this is not just a job for us, that once this is over, we move on. This is our son, grandson, friend, family, our lives. And in forgetting this, you have reduced my son to a nameless victim. So please allow me to reintroduce him. His name is Grayson Matthew. He was born on July of 2021 and was taken from his father and I January of 2022 at only 6 months old, at the hands of two reckless, careless, remorseless human beings. Grayson has missed 4 birthdays, 5 complete sets of holiday seasons, his first day of school, learning how to walk, learning how to talk. And never a chance to make a choice of his own. My son does not know the joys of being celebrated, only mourned. For over 3 years, the defendant has lived her life with the choices she made, and now I'm asking the court to hear me when I beg you to put an end to the possibility of these choices being made again. If the law is supposed to protect the community, then I'm asking for you to protect them with every inch of it and hold her accountable, because Grayson was not her only victim that day. My partner and I lost a son, our parents lost a grandson, and the community lost a precious member, all at the hands and efforts of everyone involved that day. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anything further?
And Your Honor, if we could both tell the father the condolences from my client as well as the mother. It's been a tough time for them. I understand they've lost a wonderful child, but my client just wanted to hope that somehow they can find the faith in the way to make it through this and realize that God is good. No matter what happens, God is good.
Okay, understand. All right, anything further from the state?
Besides the plea litany, Your Honor?
Correct.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Ingram, you are under oath. If you'll make sure you keep your voice up in a loud and clear voice and answer Ms. Basa's questions as they are presented. If at any time you do not understand the question or you need for us to rephrase it, please just let us know, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I just have one request before sentencing, but I'll wait till the appropriate time.
Okay, all right. Ms. Basa.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Ingram, are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No.
She already swore her in the
Okay.
Yeah, Your Honor swore her in the beginning.
I already swore her in.
I just want to make sure.
I swore in at the top of the
Yes, ma'am.
interaction, yes.
How old are you and how far have you gone in school?
26, some college.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Do you understand that you are charged with the following offenses that we read on the record prior?
Yes.
And do you understand that you have the right to either plead guilty or not guilty to the reduced charge of count 14, which is murder in the second degree, through counts 27? Do you understand that?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney, Mr. Tucker, about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges in this indictment, including any potential defenses?
Yes.
Do you need more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with his services?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive formal reading of the indictment?
I do.
Counsel, do you waive any and all defects in the indictment for purposes of this plea?
We will.
Currently, The state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Do you, counsel, or you, Ms. Ingram, know of any outstanding warrants related to these charges?
Not to our knowledge.
Okay. Has your attorney advised you of the minimum and maximum sentence for each charge that you are pleading to?
Yes.
I'm going to go through them. Counts 14 reduced, the minimum is 10 years, maximum 30. Counts 21 through 23, the minimum is 1 year, maximum 20. Counts 24, criminal damage to property in the first degree, minimum 1 year, maximum 10. Count 25 and 26, minimum 1 year, maximum 5. And possession during the commission of a felony is 5 consecutive. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand that this is a non-negotiated plea? And you heard what Your Honor has stated that her sentence would be. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that this plea may be used to enhance sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction as well as in other jurisdictions, including federal court?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on you entering a guilty plea today?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of the sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are placed on probation of any kind, you cannot possess a firearm?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Now, do you understand that neither the court, your attorney, nor the district attorney's office has anything to do with parole, the Department of Corrections, or Board of Pardons and Paroles, and no one can guarantee that to you?
Yes.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, the guilty plea conviction may affect the right to vote, the right to hold public office, right to serve on a jury, right to obtain a passport, right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, and the ability to obtain employment.
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you went to trial, you would have the right to trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and confront witnesses called to testify against you, and the right to testify or to remain silent and not incriminate yourself?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? You're giving up, and I'm going to list them. You're giving up the right to trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to confront witnesses against you, the right to assistance of counsel hired by you or to court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at a trial of your case, the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence, the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence, the right to have the charges against you proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or threatened you for you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
So in indictment 23 SC 187794-01, how do you plead to count 14 reduced to murder in the second degree and counts 15 through 27?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes.
You understand that you may only have a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
So because they're felony charges, you have 4 years from today to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
In Your Honor, the state does not have any felony convictions for Ms. Ingram, and that is all from the state.
Question from a vacation. So I understand that counts 21 through is it 26 would vacate as operation of law?
No, Your Honor. 15 through 20 would vacate by operation of law.
Excuse me, I meant 15 through 20.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
No, I meant 21 through. So counts 15 through 20 vacate?
Yes, Your Honor. And counts 21 and 22 merge into count 14.
So 21 and 22 merge.
Yes, Your Honor. And then the rest to run, 23 through 26 to run concurrent, and 27, if Your Honor allowed, to run consecutive but suspended.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, and I want to add on to something that Ms. Basis said. Ms. Basis said while you are on probation or parole, you are not allowed to have a gun. But I want to make it clear, as a convicted felon, you are not allowed to possess a gun, period, regardless of whether or not you are on probation or parole. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. And so you understand that if you were found in possession of a gun, that would be a completely separate charge, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. You understand that?
Yes.
And depending on how that's charged, that may carry a mandatory minimum of custody. You understand that?
Yes.
And because your underlying conviction, which is this conviction, which makes you a felon, is for a forcible felony, i.e. the murder in the second degree, you would likely be facing a mandatory minimum if you are ever in possession of a firearm. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Have you understood? Do you have the indictment and the plea of guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you understood everything that's transpired here today?
Yes.
Have you understood all of the questions that have been asked of you?
Yes.
And were all of the answers that you gave truthful?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any further questions for Mr. Tucker?
No.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Tucker's services? Do you need more time to speak with Mr. Tucker?
No.
All right.
She's already signed. Okay.
Handing the court the signed re-indictment and plea of guilty statement of rights form.
Thank you. Ma'am, I have in my hand the plea of guilty form. Did you go over this form with Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Did you tell the truth in this form?
Yes.
At the bottom of each of these pages are initials. Are these your initials?
Yes.
And did you understand everything that was within this form?
Yes.
Okay. On the bottom of page 3, is this your signature where it says Sharice Michelle Ingram?
Yes.
Did you sign this form after going over it with Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Did you understand everything that was within the form?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Tucker, on page 4, you did not certify the does and does not qualify question on number 5. Okay. Ma'am, I am going to accept your plea. I do find that it is knowingly, voluntarily entered with a full understanding of the rights that you are giving up by proceeding in this manner. And so I am going to sentence you as follows. Counts 1 through 13 have been null pros by the state. Count 2, which has been reduced to murder in the second degree, I sentence you to 20 years to serve. Counts 15 through 20 vacate by operation of law. Counts 21, 22, and 23, I sentence you to 20 years to serve to run concurrent with count 14. Count 24, I sentence you to 10 years to serve to run concurrent with all other counts. Count 25, I sentence you to 5 years to serve to run concurrent with all other counts. Count 26, I sentence you to 5 years to serve to run concurrent with all other counts. And count 27, I sentence you to 5 years consecutive suspended for a total of 25 to serve 20 with the balance suspended. As a special condition of your as a special condition of your sentence, you are to have no contact with your co-defendant, Mr. DeQuasie, D-E-Q-U-A-S-I-E, Jonathan Little, the family, or any other witnesses that were involved in this case. Are you clear?
Yes.
All right.
Sorry, one thing, Your Honor. Counts 21 merge into count 14. The ag assault will merge because it's for the shooting death of.
Okay, so count 21 merges.
Yes.
All right, so that makes counts 22, or count 22 also merges, does it not?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so counts 23 through 26 will run concurrent with one another as indicated in the breakdown. All right, and let me say this to the family. Oh, she left? Never mind. Well, mom and grandma are on, excuse me, grandma and dad are on the Zoom.
We're getting her to come back, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, at the appropriate time, I would just have one request.
Yes, sir, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay, she did want to state that she understands clearly from every action there is a reaction.
Okay.
And she understands that she cannot go back and change anything that happened that day. But she does hope that the family can find the peace to move on with their life, that this was nothing intended from her. I've explained to her the laws that when you do a substantial step to help and assist, that's when you get held to the same standards. She understands that. She prays for the family of the children. She prays for her family to allow them to get through this time that she's going to be away from them. But she did want to respectfully request that the court understand that this was nothing she really ever intended to happen, but it did happen, and she stands here accountable for those actions, whether it's in her favor or not. And she just prays to the court that she understand that you understand the circumstances as they occurred.
Understood. Thank you. All right. So to
And
the.
that, I'm sorry. And that because she was recently released from bail, she has not been able to get her affairs in order because her mom has been moving from her house and she's been helping, that she would possibly be able to get, of course, I would ask for 30 days, but 15 at minimum, that she would be able to get her affairs to sign over. And I've drafted.
Oh, sorry. Miss Ingram is being taken into custody right now.
Okay. I guess I can visit her at the jail. I just need to come and get her to sign power over to her family for her children, and that she does pray to the court and to the family that they can move beyond this, and God will help.
Understood. Thank you. And so to the family, and I have split attention because, of course, you're in front of me and on Zoom. So certainly I heard, and this is the second time I've heard both of your victim impact statements. There is nothing that anyone can do to bring back your baby. There's nothing that anybody can do to bring back your child. And I oftentimes tell folks that the justice system is not closure, because you can never have closure when you lose someone who's close to you. But hopefully you are able to now put this part of the grieving process behind you and move forward, understanding that certainly baby Grayson had a purpose, and he still has a purpose. And though his life was cut short, that does not mean that his purpose cannot be fulfilled and continue to be filled through you all, okay? So it is never the court's intention to make any person feel as though the court does not care or the system does not care, etc., or that it is just a job. And anybody who knows me will tell you that this is not just a job for me on either side, because at the end of the day, I try my very best to treat every single person who comes before me, whether it's on the prosecution side or the defense side, as though it were someone who were my loved one, my family, my friend. Because at the end of the day, certainly we all seek justice, but justice looks different in a myriad of ways, right? And so there's nothing that anyone can do to bring back baby Grayson or to remove the hurt or pain that you all feel. Nothing, right? But I do hope that the completion and the conclusion of this process will allow you to complete this phase of the grief process and move on to the next the next phase of the grief process. All right. So good luck to you all. Good luck to you, Miss Ingram. And Miss Ingram, I say this to you. I've heard Mr. Tucker plead on your behalf multiple times to say she didn't mean it. She didn't mean it. She didn't mean it. She didn't know, etc. Well, you too have a duty now in this process of honoring baby Grayson's memory. Yeah. So use this as an opportunity to do better, to be better, to make better decisions, such that from what you can do, and we can only control what we can control, but from what you can control, that no other family has to feel what this family is feeling based on your actions, and so that you don't have to feel what you were feeling based on your actions, okay? Good luck to you, ma'am. And with that being said, Ms. Ingram is remanded to the custody of the Fulton County Sheriffs.
And I'm handing the plea of guilty statement of rights form to the court.
Thank you.
And may I be excused, Your Honor?
Hold on.
Your Honor, may I hug my mother by?
No, ma'am, I'm sorry, you can't.
Here's a card. Guess you-
Thank you.
All right, now you all may both be excused.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Oh.